I'm back. It's already round, already ready to go. Let's see if I'm more capable this time. Last time, you see, there was some dry spots still on the wheel head. That can lead to problems, and it did. I was like, you shouldn't do that again because it makes your tits look fucking ridiculous. But it's part of the process. It's called tataki. It's hitting is the word in Japanese, and it's a dry centering technique for larger amounts of clay. It works great. And so now I'm centering. The point of centering is to line up the clay particles so they're stacked up real nice and clean in the wall of the pot when you go to pull them tall. It takes some strength and it takes some patience. I'm gonna go for this again. It's got some weird jiggle in it. May have an air bubble, in which case this video will be another aborted situation. The pot will probably not turn out very well if I missed a big air pocket in it. It'll unbalance the walls when they come up and make having a centered balance piece almost impossible. We just have to wait and see. I'm gonna really go after the center of the piece to make sure it's not there. But it's probably just that it was a little hard. The reason Shane and Alyssa couldn't use this is that it came from the factory too dry and hard for their students to want to work with. So I brought it back here and put some extra work into it to make it usable, to make it workable. If you notice with this shape, it is a little bit different from other shapes that I've had when throwing cylinders in previous videos, if you've seen some of the previous videos, which are quite old. And so it's kind of like a mushroom, right? Remember in the video last time where the pedestal foot was already set up underneath the T-bowls. This is a similar thing with a bowl. You kind of leave this large amount of clay in an already prepared wall shape, and that's going to give me something to work with when I trim the high pedestal foot that I like on my bowls. I want them to sit up and sort of defy gravity in a way, and this base really helps that look. So I'm centered enough, and now I'm going to open it up. Another variation from throwing a cylinder. So with the cylinder, I would take this piece, and you might remember that from the T-bowls, and open it all the way across and compress on the bottom. With the bowl, the interior line on the shape of that inside wall is the most important part. That's where it functions. The spoon needs to be able to glide easily over that shape. And so to achieve that with a bowl, you come at it with a different strategy. So I'm going to use more water here than I usually do because this first pull is pretty massive. Most pulls, you start with the strength on your outside hand with the left hand inside supporting. On a bowl, I'm going to come with the left hand and use that as the main strength here, and I'm going to hold and support with the right hand. And that'll help me get that interior line that I'm interested in. See, it's starting to stick a little bit there, so I have to kind of rearrange my pressure on my hand constantly to make sure that I don't tear the wall as it's coming up. Also, the force of the wheel, because every time I come up, the wall starts becoming more and more fragile, I'm going to slow the wheel speed down so that gravity doesn't wreck the process, because it's really giving a lot of force on the shape. So more water here, because it's going to be, this is the second pull, this is going to be another sort of big heavy clay movement. All the way down to the center and starting the pull from there. Got a little bounce in it. There's definitely an air bubble in it. Let's see if I can pull it off. That view is distracting. I don't know, but I don't like this shape. I let it get out of my grip to see what happens. I got one more pull to sort of salvage it. On this one, I'm gonna really have to stick to my guns and really make sure that that's an interior pull. Coming at it, there's a lot of weight in the middle line of the piece. Watching that rim so it doesn't get too out of hand. Maybe I'll give it a little flare down because that's what it wants to do anyway. One of the things I tell my students is not to worry too much about a placement wobble like that, because after today, it'll never spin again. So I'm compressing here on the inside. S-cracks are a problem with larger pieces always. And then I'm gonna break my own rules and I'm gonna come back for one more pull at the bottom to try and pick up some of this extra weight that's down there. And I may lose it. And if I do, you'll never see this. See if we can rescue that weirdness there. A little bit of pressure from the outside. Down. And that's a decent little bowl, I think. I'm going to flute the rim because it seems to want that. And you want to see it because it's cute. And we'll go with that. Cool, thanks.